Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome. My name is Edmond Lime, alias Eddie Bobo, and I'm bringing you updates on the 15,000 euro saga, or if you want to call it a scandal, that has been tearing Cameroonians apart and keeping them unrest here in Qatar. I'm sure it is no longer news to any of you that 15,000 euros was given or was allocated to Cameroonian community here in Qatar by the Cameroonian government during the just ended FIFA World Cup that took place here in Qatar. And of course, this money was meant for Cameroonians to be mobilized or to be rallied to support the indomitable Lions of Cameroon without giving complaints. Ladies and gentlemen, it should no longer be news as well to you that this money was handed to Mr. Mustafa Magloire Biaka, who never presented this money, who never made an attempt to rally Cameroonians so that they could support the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. And in the initial presentations that we had, especially as I interviewed the chairperson of the Cameroonian community here in Qatar, Mr. Rene Mebenga, he made attempts to ensure that Mr. Biaka presented that money for Cameroonians to be mobilized so that the money be used for the purpose it was intended. But that did not work as, according to his statement, at a particular time, Mr. Biaka went mute and did not buy the idea of the chairperson for them to mobilize Cameroonians so that this money could be used for the purpose it was given. And even after having seen that, it was too late to mobilize Cameroonians so that they go to support the indomitable Lions of Cameroon. The chairperson still proposed that the money should be used for organization or to organize a general assembly that will bring together all Cameroonians who are living in this country of Qatar. Still, the dean of the community, of course, Mr. Biaka is the dean of the community, still did not buy the idea. This is according to the report of the chairperson during the interview with him. Ladies and gentlemen, cut the long story short because I don't want to bring you all of what we had already discussed in this video again. Now, a committee that was requested to be formed by Mr. Biaka was formed, and still, actually, he requested that a committee be formed so that the money should be handed over to the committee, and that committee was formed. Still, the money was not handed. After a series of meetings, maybe about 5 or so, by the committee, it was announced finally by the committee on the let me bring you the date when that news was brought to Cameroonians living here in Qatar. On the 20th of January 2023, that Mr. Biaka called the committee to tell them that he will be handing over 25,000 Qatari riyals, which is equivalent to about 6,300 euros, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, there is a document that I'm going to attach to this video. Okay, you can see it there as already attached, that a document that was signed by the representatives of Mr. Biaka, as he was not in the country when this money was being handed to the committee. And the committee received this money. That is on the 20th of January this year, 2023, ladies and gentlemen. And that document was signed. And you can read it from as I've attached it to this video. You can read it for yourself. And of course, we had representatives of the dean of the community, Mr. Biaka, which included Mr. Richard and Mr. Richard Gilefa and Mr. Paulin Fomekong. And on the side of the committee, we had Mr. Otia Roger, who, of course, is a chairperson of that committee, and Mr. James Gabin, and Mr. Somuta Julius, ladies and gentlemen. The only thing that some Cameroonians pointed out in the document that was signed was that the document never showed when the balance of the money will be handed to the community by Mr. Biaka, who is the in keeping of that money. Ladies and gentlemen, the questions are that he ordered the representatives, which is that delegation that was headed by Mr. Paulin, to hand 25,000 Qatari riyals. That is equivalent to, I already told you, 6,300 euros. The question is, when will the rest of the money be handed to the community? This is the question that has not been answered until now. According to the community, the committee that was handling this situation, they asked him this question, but he did not give any response. They also proposed that a document be signed or be written down when showing the balance of the money and when he should be promising to hand that money, and still he did not accept to sign such a document. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point, we do not know when the balance of that money will be handed to the community. And it is noted that, or it has reached us that Mr. Biaka, who was not in town, he was in Cameroon, has come back. And perhaps one of these days we'll be able to hear from him, as we have not heard from him from the day he collected that money. He's a few days after he sent a message. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what I would like to add to this is that let the Operation Sparrowhawk that is fishing out embezzlers in Cameroon not allow something like this to happen even amongst the young people. I mean, we have run away from the country in search of greener pastures, not because our country is poor, but because money that is meant for the nation ends up in the pockets of some individuals who embezzle it. So, if Cameroon government should sit and allow something like this to happen, even in diaspora, without taking action, then Cameroon probably will not go anywhere. I'm not cursing the country, but I'm just saying it as it is, because something like this should not be allowed to happen. Let Mr. Biaka present all of that money, the 15,000 euros. Let €1 not get missing out of the money. That is what we are expecting to ensure that the Cameroonian government follows up until it happens. My name is Edmond Lime, and I am the Public Relations Officer of the Cameroonian Community here in Qatar. And I'll be bringing you updates on this matter. Until then, ciao. Yeah.